What is good, beautiful people? Today I'm going to show you guys how to install the SLR angle kit on the E36 to turn your car from this to this. Alright, so as y'all might have noticed, there is no control arm on this side because to speed everything up, I already took off all of the control arms, but I'm still going to talk about how to remove everything real quick. Alright, so this is the control arm that I removed from this side. As you can see, all the boosts were busted, and the bushing on this side is, I don't know if it's been wobbling like that to begin with, or the bushing is just too old. But anyways, you need to remove 3 points on the lower control arm. This one is a 19mm, this one is a 22mm, goes up to the subframe. And there are two 17mm bolts that hold this up to, behind here somewhere. You'll see it. So that's the lower control arm. And then you also need a 16mm to unbolt the tie rod nut. I don't know why. 16, 17, 19, 22. And the 3 bolts for the coilover is actually 18mm. So 16, 17, 18, 19, 22. You remember everything once you work on it a lot. A lot of time you'll find that the ball joints are stuck onto the either the knuckle or the subframe. So there are a few ways to do it. So one of the ways is using the clamp style ball joint remover, and you tighten it up from the bottom and just bam, pushes it out. The other way is use a torch and a BAH, a big ass hammer. So you heat up the knuckle, and then you don't hit the nut from the top. You actually hit the knuckle itself from the side. After a good whack or 10, it's just gonna fall off. But that is really hard to do if this got stuck onto the subframe. This is the mounting point of the subframe. And then right behind that, on top, is the motor mount. So you can't heat it up too much because you're gonna risk melting the motor mount. And I was like, how exactly am I gonna do it? So for the passenger side, you can use a rod and then put one end of the rod on top of the stud and then hammer the other end of the rod to push it down. But on the driver's side, you don't have enough room for it. So I look up online. So apparently all of these years, I should have gotten these. These are pickle forks. They look like this from the side, you know? So how this works is you jam it in between. I'm gonna use the tie rod pickup point as an example. Assuming this one stuck, it actually was, but you jam it in between. Right? There are this kit comes with 3 sizes, so this is actually a big one. There's a smaller one on the side. You jam it in between, and then you just hammer it sideways, and separates the ball joint from the mounting point. This is my best friend now, because the tie rod end took 2 hits, this one took 2 hits, and then where the lower control arm bolts up to the subframe, I think 3 hits or 4 hits, bam, off. It was so easy. I didn't heat anything up. I didn't hammer it for 500 times in the middle of the night. So yeah, get a set of these. I think they're like 25 bucks from Amazon. Comes with 3 different sizes. If you work on a car a lot, you're gonna need them sooner or later. Anyways, let's get back to the kit. So for the stock arm, the length, this is the subframe mounting point. This is the pickup point for the knuckle. The length is not long enough to clear the 60+ degrees of angle that the adapter gives you from SLR. And this is what I got. This is the mini kit from SLR for the E36. And the good thing about the SLR kit is this is the exact adapter that comes in all of the other kits for E36. So the mini kit, the kit that comes with a control arm extender. I'm gonna put a picture over here, and then the kit, the super kit, the ultra kit, they all share the same adapter. So this is the magical bit, and that's the only part that matters to me. So I only got the mini kit. That means I don't get the tubular front control arm, which is actually really good. I wish I got it, but I got this made by DefWorks. Really beautiful piece, and yeah. The angle might look a little bit weird. Let me explain to you guys why this is the case. So as you can see, he cut it from here. Usually, most of people extend it diagonally, like cut it like this. Instead of this, they cut it like this and then extend out, right? That'll change the caster that the original control arm provides. Extending it this way means the arm still maintains the original geometry, which means you don't gain extra caster with the diagonal extension, which I really appreciate. I didn't even notice until I got it back, and it took him like only 2 days after I drop it off. Yeah. So he locates in Signal Hill next to Long Beach in Southern California. So if you have any fabrication needs, hit him up. I'm gonna put his Instagram tag up over here. Really nice dude, really, really good price, and really high quality work. So thank you so much, DevWorks. Actually forgot to tell you guys the length. I actually had another set of arm extended by him a couple years ago, and that was extended 1.5 inches, I think, or 2 inches. It was definitely long enough if you only have the modified knuckle. But for the SLR kit, to maximize the angle, you need at least 3 inches extension for the control arm, which is what I got here. This is a 3 inches extension. I honestly wish I asked for 4, but I think at that point I'm just sacrificing the overall strength of the control arm. And at that point I might as well go for the tubular arm. I actually put this on the other side. It works okay. Not that the fabrication work. The fabrication work was perfect, but the length that I asked for was okay. If you were to do it, I recommend you to ask for a 3.5 inch or just get the tubular arm if you want to use all of the 60, 70 degrees of angle that SLR kit provides. Anyways, on the other end of the SLR mini kit, I have this E90 inner tie rod. I also took this one off of the blue car. The whole kit was on the blue car actually. Damn, poor blue car. Anyways, I got these as well. So this is from Condor. This is from SLR. The original design of this actually put the nut in between the heim and the block, I would say. I call it block. So the nut will go over here. But I realized that if you loosen it all up and then remove the nut and then put it back on and put the nut to the end, you have a lot more caster than the original one. So this is the offset lollipop from Condor Speed Shop. So I think this gives you like 7 degrees of caster. I could be wrong, I never measured it. Now look at the difference. So the distance between the end of the control arm to the mounting hole is even shorter on the SLR hacked version. So I got the Condor one on the passenger side. On the driver side, I'm going to put this one on, and then I'm going to compare the difference. Now let's start assembling the SLR mini kit on the E36. Actually, before I put it on, I forgot to paint the control arm. I already painted the other side. I was saving this for this video, so let's paint the control arm right now. So for the paint, I'm going to use this Steelit stainless steel paint. You can actually weld through this. It's really expensive, but really, really convenient. You don't even have to prime it. So before the paint, just gonna use the brake clean, clean up the surface a little bit. You can also use acetone or alcohol, whichever one you prefer. And now I'm actually gonna burn off the excessive, brake clean. Whoops. That was not supposed to happen. All right, stop it. All right. Also, it increases a little bit of the surface temperature. The paint is going to dry fast. And then I'm going to let it dry for a little bit and then come back for a second coat. I'm supposed to, but I'm not gonna. So, since it's just a lower control arm, I'm gonna do this. Alright, now the top half is done. We're moving on to the bottom. Alright, now the quick paint job is done. Let's get back to the installation. And then line it up with a hole. Install the nut. Alright. There we go. Alright, and now we can install the adapter. Now what you see here are two washers. For the non-M knuckle, you have to put both of the washers between the knuckle and the adapter. And I believe for the M car, you either put one or you don't need it at all. Look it up. And also you have this. So this is the shank for the kit. I forgot to mention, it comes with the kit as well. The bottom half goes into the bearing that you need to press in to the control arm. It actually replaces the ball joint that goes to the knuckle. And then the top is for the adapter. Okay, so bolt goes up here. Two washers. So this is how it goes on the tie rod pickup point. Okay, screw that in. Alright, now you see what I mean by the two washers going in between. That way the other side is completely flush. And I believe this is because the M3 has a built-in bump steer correction on the knuckle. Now get the shank, there's a thicker side and a thinner side. Insert the thinner side bottom up. And don't go all the way up, because you still have to put a washer over there and the nut on top. Put this on top and this to the bottom. All right, and then get a screwdriver if you may to clock it to the right angle. In this case, I'm going to use a tie rod. There you go. And now you're gonna see there's a problem. This lip is actually touching, well, not touching, but came really close with the lower control arm. I don't want to remove this whole dust plate, but what I'm gonna do is use a pair of pliers to bend this. Now, is it the cleanest job? Hell no. But does it work? Hell yes. And then get a last nut. And as for the torque spec, the nut for this one is 65 foot-pounds. Torque this bottom nut to 81 foot-pounds. Torque these two down to 81 foot-pounds. And these two down to 63 foot-pounds. And then here on the SLR website, it says the shim in between, I mean, I call it washer, it's actually the shim. The shim for E30, it requires 0. You don't need any shim in between if you're installing the kit onto an E30. You need one shim if you're installing the kit onto a 93 to 95 M3, and you need also no shim for a 93 plus M3. And if you have what I have, a non-M3 E36, you need 2 shims in between. There you go. Oh, actually I forgot to mention, there's a slot over here. This is actually Ackerman adjustment. I just left it how it came. If you want 0 Ackerman, if you want more Ackerman, stock Ackerman, whatever, you can definitely adjust it through this. But now I'm gonna move on to this, the lollipop. The kit comes with 2 bolts as well. So like I said earlier, I'm utilizing an E90, E92 inner tie rod. It is a little bit longer than the E36 one. The reason I got these was because I was using this with E46 arm and rack spacer combination. So that gives you about 10 degrees more angle maximum. Really nice feeling, but it was rubbing like crazy on the E46 arm. So now I'm actually going to install the rack limiter on this one because this is not a crazy tubular SLR arm. So this arm actually doesn't push the wheel out far enough to clear everything. So now let me show you what the SLR rack limiter looks like. Bam. And I'm going to show you how to install it later on. And now get the rack limiter. Now with this on, it restricts the rack travel a little bit. This is the complete opposite of the rack spacer. I hope this will eliminate the rubbing issue, and if it doesn't, I have another set of this, so I'm just gonna stack it up. So I'm just gonna leave it loose like this until I give it a ghetto alignment. But now we need to torque everything down. Hey! Aw, this is from a neighbor. Yeah, we just became friends before they moved out. It's just a thank you letter plus a Christmas letter, Christmas card. This is so sweet. So yeah, if you guys seeing this around Christmas time, Merry Christmas to you and your family. Now, back to the business. Man, this made my day. I just help them out a little bit here and there. They're actually a student from filming school, and if you didn't know, I was actually a theater major in college. So I actually helped them out in a couple projects as an actor and voiceover. Anyways, we're gonna torque this down to 62 foot-pounds. And now I'm gonna use this big boy to torque the bottom nut down to 80 something foot-pounds. Alright, so the installation is completely done. In the next episode, I'm going to install the front sway bar. I think it's still going to rub, so if it happens, I'm just going to put another rack travel limiter onto the rack. But as for now, I'm going to install this thick-ass hub-centric spacer, which is a lot safer than the non-hub-centric spacer, just so you know. And then I'll show you guys how the kit looks like traveling from lock to lock. Alright y'all, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and check out my other videos. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.